All right, welcome back to the Austin Moss Show. We got Opal Moss here, and I am your host, Austin Moss. So I'm excited to dive into this. This is my grandma, if you get to know. And so I've known her for a long time, my whole life. And yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm glad that you accepted the challenge to come on video and tell everybody about yourself and things like that. So let's get to meet you. Tell us who you are.
I'm Opal Moss.
Well, yeah. Okay, we know that. So let's go. So where are you? Where are you from? Were you born? Kind of start there.
Okay. I was born at Rexford, Kansas, in my folks' house. And I lived there in that house until I moved into my house down here.
Mm.
And
You were born in a house.
yeah, in mom's house, dad's house. All of us kids was born there.
Oh, wow. And how many siblings?
But a sister and three brothers.
Okay.
But they're all gone now. I'm the only one left.
You're thriving, crushing it. So you grew up in that house and you moved over, and where are we sitting at right now?
We're sitting on Bloomfield Schoolhouse.
Bloomfield Schoolhouse.
Yep.
We were talking about that last night. I'll probably try and put some pictures up or something of those blueprints or the old school plans.
Yeah.
So this was tell us about the Bloomfield house and moving there and where it's at and how did that transpire?
Well, my husband, he went to school here 8 years. And then he went to college for a year and a half, high school, and then college for a year or half a year, and quit, came home and farmed. He's farmed ever since.
Oh.
And I helped him out in the field a lot when I was first married. But after we got kids, slowed down a little bit on that. And this house was a schoolhouse where, I don't know how many kids they had going to school. But Earl and his dad stored wheat in the basement. It was full of wheat.
In the schoolhouse?
In the basement.
Wow.
And in May, Earl brought me up here and showed me the house. We couldn't get clear downstairs because the wheat was there. He says, "Don't worry, we'll have this all out by June." And I said, okay. I didn't believe him, but we all worked. They cleaned the wheat out, and I and his sister washed the walls all down. And him and his dad's put in the petitions. We just kind of made 4 rooms out of it down there. Been living there ever since. Lived there 10 years. Came upstairs and remodeled this up here. We got this all done. Then we waited 10 more years and went back downstairs and fixed it all up.
So you were renovating before it was a big thing. Flip or flop the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So when was this built?
1924.
1920. So 100 years to this year.
Yep. They didn't actually start school that year in here. They waited a year before they started having school. I don't know what the deal was, but.
And you were telling me before about how did they do school here out in the western Kansas farm town back then? How did school work?
Well, we just had one teacher to teach all the kids. I don't know how many kids went to school here.
So you didn't go to school here?
No.
Where'd you go to school?
Rexford school.
Okay. And that close to here?
Went to two country schools first. The first one I went to, I was there a year and a half. Then we moved, or we didn't move, but we went over 2 miles east of us, and there was another school. So that's where we went. We fired the teacher.
You fired the teacher? Well, there's got to be something there.
Well, we had a pond down behind the schoolhouse, and we could go down there and ice skate all the time in the winter. But she'd never tell us to come back. So we only went about a half a day of school down there, that first school. So they fired her.
Half a day of school, half a day of teacher getting to relax.
I don't know, but anyway, then we started on the other school. Went there till I was in the 6th grade, and Merle, my oldest brother, or not the oldest, but the second son brother, he graduated from grade school, and so he was going to go to Rexford, so we just all went to Rexford school.
Hmm. So you graduated from Rexford?
I didn't. Well, I graduated.
You what? You got out?
Yeah.
You escaped?
Yeah, I didn't finish.
Neither did I. So
I guess
we're same there.
What's that?
Neither did I.
Yeah, I know.
Had bigger, better things to do.
Right.
So you moved. What year did you guys move here? To the schoolhouse?
In 53.
53. And your husband, my grandpa, has passed, Earl. And that was now how many years ago? Is that
4 years ago.
4 years ago. So you guys lived here together for how many years? And it was a 60 some years, huh?
Oh, man.
70 years? 53 to, well, you've been here now 70 years. So what kind of stories you got? What's happened? Right. So you had, my dad lives down here. My Uncle Gary lives down the road, and all the cousins running the farm. And what is farming like back then when you guys first moved here to what's different?
It's all get together different.
Yeah.
Farming.
Tell somebody, because a lot of these people are listening and watching, they've never seen a cow. They've never been on a dirt road. They don't know. They've heard about combines and corn and wheat and soybeans and all these things. So at like a 5th grade or less level, like what were the big differences if somebody were out here 70 years ago and then they just skip forward and are out here during planting and harvest season this year?
Yeah, there'd be a lot of difference.
Do what?
I was going to say, talk about picking corn and corn piles in the yard.
Yeah, we'll edit stuff out of here so you can talk. If you have a question, just feel free to ask. We'll edit it out.
Well, one year we planted or just picked the corn and dumped it in the driveway out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a sheller that come in and shelled it and cleaned the mess up finally.
So how long would it take to do, like, say, a field?
Picking corn?
Yeah, versus now.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Because back then the machinery wasn't as big as it is.
Because I think Dad was saying it'd take maybe 2 hours to plant a whole field.
To plant it?
You keep talking.
Tell them that you pick corn with 2 rows and just pick the ears.
Yeah.
Then you pile the ears up and then shelled the corn layer.
Okay.
Yeah. Just walk us through a process in 1950s of from when you plant to when you harvest. What that looks like.
The planter back then was maybe a 2-row header.
Okay.
Now they're 12.
I think they're like 24, some of them now, or 12, or at least 12 on the planter, right? 12 or 16.
Yeah.
So you had two rows at a time.
Yep. And it shelled it.
And did you like horse and buggy or tractor or
tractor?
Okay.
But they did do machine back years with a cat, something to pull that.
Like a cow or a donkey or a mule or something or a horse.
Yep, they'd hook it up and go with the field. But that was before my time. I didn't remember anybody doing it when I was home.
So what was your role on the farm those early days?
We milked cows and we fed pigs and we fed chickens and just worked out there.
Yeah. And how was that? Did you like it?
Well, I didn't know any difference.
The planting with 2-row planter.
Yeah.
And then
picker. Ship.
And then did you guys have irrigation back then?
No, not till 56.
1956?
Was.
And is that like the irrigation I see out here? Like the pivot with the big long hoses and everything and the wheels and it does the circle, or is that
No,
different?
we had a trench, and made a trench in the ground, and then we used pipes
Mhm.
and laid it out.
So just like kind of what I saw growing up, like really early on, I think I saw Dad and Gary doing that. They'd lay out the pipe on the end of the rows and they have like little kind of doors almost that would open, and you just pump water down it and shoots out down the row.
Well, that pipe, it goes through that pipe, and then they put tubes on it and
Oh, to run it down the road.
row it down the corn row or whatever the water.
So they it's a lot better now with the pivot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm to lay. I've heard stories, horror stories about laying pipe down to water a field.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the last day I had strung pipe, it's Gary. We put him in the pickup on his knees, put it in gear, and then Tim and I, we picked up the pipe behind him. He'd drive, just keep it slow.
How old was Gary?
I don't know.
Was he a kid?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He had to stand on his knees on the seat to drive to see. And so we picked that pipe. And I was always on the end where the water came out when he picked it up. He picked it up like this. I got water all over me.
So you just planned to be drenched every time. But it's hot out during those months, isn't
It
it?
was 110 that day.
110 degrees. So you got to get into that, getting a little
And I think
cool off.
I think Tim put more ice in the water jug than he did water. The more you drank, the sicker you got. Yeah.
So it's come a long way since then. So tell me, what are things like now? What's your life like now? What do you do? We were talking about you got a full schedule still.
I'm done. I mean, when did I retire? When you guys got them 14 or them big trucks, I said I'm done.
The big trucks. What was that? The big trucks.
Those semis.
Oh, did you drive a truck before that? What all have you done on the farm work wise?
Everything.
Everything.
Disc, made trenches for the plant in, I
Truck.
drove a truck too a lot, mostly.
Mm.
And I drove the grain cart. When Gary was assistant basketball or football coach,
Mm-hmm.
he had to quit about 2:00 and go in there to practice with the boys. And then I'd get in the grain cart and drive it while he was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And this one real windy day, really windy, I tried to tarp that truck. About the time I get to the back, it just blow up. It's all up. So I have to drive over by the scale house, south of the scale house over there. And so I could tarp it out of the wind, untarp it. So when Gary come back to work that night, he always got home at 5:30 or something. He said, "Well, you ready to get back in your truck?" And I won't say what I said.
What would you say?
I said, "Hell no, I know how easy you got it in here. You go drive that truck and fight that tarp." But next year, I had an automatic tarp roller. I guess they all felt sorry for me.
So you won.
Yeah.
Good.
Put that tarp roller on for me, and really nice.
Where would you haul?
Feedlot about 3 miles east,
Okay.
2 miles east. Then I hauled it to Halford too.
What's that, Alfred?
There's a feedlot over there. So Earl sold some to them. And
so word on the street, you guys had to play a part in that feedlot.
Earl,
that huge feedlot over there. No.
Earl started. It was one of the guys started.
When was that? Do you know? How long ago they started that? 60s?
Oh. Okay.
So when did what year did they do
1960.
that? 1960.
Okay.
We'll edit that out. That's fine. So what else has happened around here interesting over the years?
Oh, we've had a lot of I guess we never did really have anything exciting, you know.
Oh, I'm sure there has been.
But
Tell people what snipes are. Tell people about snipe. The snipe we got out here.
I don't know. I've never seen one.
You take your friends out hunting for them.
I know. That was that was just a fun game that night.
Who did you take out?
Oh, my niece from Colorado come, and she's a city girl, and Charlene, my other sister-in-law, and I was just the three of us. Anyway, went out the field, and I had the sack, holding the sack, and Charlene was kind of walking beside me. I checked, and I said, "Oh, there's one." Charlene reached down and picked it up, or put it in that sack. We did that a couple hours, maybe an hour and a half or something, just having fun. So when we got in the car to go back to town, because Charlene and Daryl was at Daryl and Charlene's place, put the sack in the car. They rolled the window down in the back, and I said, no, I said, don't let them things out. So when we went down through main part of town, I had that sack hanging out the window.
With snipes in it?
Yep. And then we got up to Daryl's. We was out there looking at it, and we had the porch light on, or garage door light or something. Anyway, my niece, she was trying to sneak up to see him, and I goosed her. I tell you, I thought she's going to see the garage door.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You just did that recently, wasn't that? A couple of years ago? Years ago?
It's been quite a while ago,
Yeah.
really.
What's your week look like nowadays? Let's see, what's today's? What do you have to do Saturday?
Well,
what do you do on Saturdays normally?
like I say, just get my hair fixed and clean the house, I guess.
Yeah. You big, what do you do for fun?
We play dominoes on Wednesday. Oh, there's 4 of us or 5 of us sometimes playing dominoes and having fun.
Yeah. Just dominoes?
Called Mexican Train.
Mexican Train?
Yeah, like we played last
And
night.
you usually win? I hear you're the scorekeeper.
Yeah. But I don't ever win.
You don't ever win and you're the scorekeeper.
Yeah. Boys,
I need to give you some tips then.
boys said being I kept score, I should win. But that's my own cheat. So
Well, that's good. You beat me before
yeah.
many times. We played a lot of games over the years. We play baseball and Shanghai Rummy.
Yeah.
You got your own version of Shanghai Rummy.
We haven't played any of those games for a
Long time. Yeah. So what, looking back, because you were, how long were you guys married?
He's been gone 4 years, so I'm 71.
71, would be 71 years?
I guess so, 60 some years.
How'd you guys do it?
How'd we do it?
Yeah. You got more experience than anyone I know and having a successful marriage.
Just say what you think and go.
Say what you think all the time.
If you get into an argument, I said just say what you think and walk away. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Guess I'll have to tell you. I just went into the vet to get this cattle shot, and the guy that owned the vet he said come in the office and we'll visit a while. So I went in, visited, and he was talking. He said, well, did you and Earl get along this many years? Because it was 60 some years then. And I said, well, not divorce, but murder, yes. He mentioned that every once in a while, yeah.
He's just always in the back of the mind. They never divorce.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, people could learn a lot about about that.
Yeah. Well,
So is it always easy?
oh, sometimes it was a little difficulty, but like I say, you say your piece and go on. What else?
What else did you do over your years? You guys had a RV for a long time.
Yeah, we went camp. We got an RV in what 61. First one we got. Anyway, we followed the boys. Gary was still in sports, and we take our motorhome because a lot of the places they wrestled in and stuff, they didn't have restaurants. So that way everybody brought a little food, and we just all went out and sat in the camper or on the sidewalk and ate what we brought.
You guys would then so you bought it to go to sporting events and
Yeah, well, that's what we did with the first one. We went to more sporting events than we did. But then we started going to Texas. And the first year we went, we was there 2 weeks.
we're down in Texas.
Sabata, Texas.
Zapata? Is that down on the like close to the
Almost to the Mexican, about what, 20 miles?
Okay.
They always fished in Mexico. But anyway, we got rid of that one and got a bigger one, and pretty soon we got a bigger one. But we really enjoyed it down there.
You drove that big thing around.
At last, because Earl couldn't
Yeah.
drive it. He says he could. He'd get in it and drive to Oakley and stop there at the truck, that little place there on the highway, and say, "Here, take him over." So he drove there.
I went 30 minutes. You got the next what?
Yeah.
10 hours?
Well, we stopped. We'd always stop about 4:30, and we knew where we could park for free, so we stayed there most of the time, going down there.
What about the time you took a camper to Washington, D.C.?
Oh, I didn't go on that. But Earl took it to Washington, D.C. when they was having strikes about the farmers and stuff.
No, you went out there to strike?
But I didn't. He took the bus.
I never heard any of this story.
I did too go, because Pat Hifley went and I went. So I don't know who all went.
So was this like the same, like raiding is this like raiding DC like they did back on January 6th?
1979.
1979. So 1979, you guys raided DC. What'd you guys do out there?
I don't know what all David would do, because there was two couples in our camper.
Talk about all the tractors.
Oh yeah, and a lot of tractors went. They drove them out there.
Oh really? What was the riots, or what's that all over? What was it over?
What wasn't it over? Farming? So,
Yeah, trying to get parity for crops.
yeah. But that's been several years ago.
There at least a few.
Right.
Well, I don't remember anything 40 years ago. I wasn't alive though.
Well, you
1977.
And for everyone listening, if you hear some random commentating on the sidelines over here, it's my dad.
I'm not gonna be in it at all. I'm just gonna.
Oh, you don't know that?
Give you.
You may be in there right now. 1977. Did you hear that? 1977. We lobbied or rioted or something for prices to come back up to where they're supposed to be.
And we liked the Texas trip. We'd go down there, and every year we stay a little longer. Like I say, we started out with 2 weeks. Well, that was when Gary was a junior, and he went with us.
Over the winter?
No,
just for two.
That was a 2-week trip. He had a little vacation in there. Well, maybe around Christmas time. Anyway, we went down there. We was gone 2 weeks, but we went to my folks' place. My folks didn't come to the same park that we did. And so we stayed with them the first night. Then we go on down a little further to Mexico. And Bob and Rose Marsh, they went with us. So we stayed there overnight there and come back to Zapata, brought the folks back, and we stayed there a couple of days and come home. I said that wasn't worth it.
For 2 weeks wasn't worth it.
No.
A lot of planning and coordinating for that little bit.
But yeah, and Gary, he had to hurry up and get home because the wrestling practice had started. So he was driving, and he said he was going to drive the rest of the way home, make all the road trip. But we got him to stop about 2:00
In the morning?
Put in a hospital parking lot and stayed for the night. Came home, and I said I wasn't going to do that no more. I would go 2,000 miles. Well, it was more than 2,000 about it, because it's 1,000 miles to Zapata. So
And back, and then Mexico.
down to Mexico and stuff. But
so what'd you do? So you went longer the next time, I assume?
every year we just got a little bit longer. It's 1 month, 2 months, and it was down to 3 months. And we quit.
Most people can't do that in the middle of working a whole year.
Well, he had ones working. Oh, well, yeah, farm, but there was no farming going on because Earl wouldn't miss the farming. But anyway.
So did you guys have, because if you just have crops, you can kind of just take off. Did you guys get rid of the cattle and the pigs and horse, all that stuff? Or did you guys ever have any out here?
We had cattle, but it was over there in the feedlot. We didn't have them here.
You didn't have them in the house? No house cows?
Well, see, when we was first married, there wasn't nothing but the house here, and the outhouse is out north of.
Oh, you didn't have a bathroom?
Interesting.
Interesting.
Water.
How far is that?
Just out here to the oil shed.
So like what, maybe a couple 100 feet? 100 feet?
Oh, it was some.
That's it's still a little bit of a walk in the snow.
Tell me about it.
You tell me about it.
But anyway, I've enjoyed every bit of my life. I always lots of times thought I was overworked, but I wasn't. Because Mom was in the hospital a lot. So I was helping with the chores and taking care of the hogs and milking the cows and stuff. And then I had to go in the house, and I and Dad would do the cooking and cleaning, and if she was in the hospital. But it was fun.
A lot of stories.
Yeah.
And then you threw Grandpa around for some years there too.
Yeah. Well, actually, I took care of a lot of people. My Opal Spellman, I took care of her a little bit, helped take care of her when she was getting bad. And Mom, and then Earl, and Dad was only here one time. They went to Kansas City. They always doctored down there for Dad. And they went down there, and Mom had to have a little surgery done. And Dad said, well, while we're here, you might as well get that taken care of. So they did. Well, they went in to check on her that night that they operated, and she was dead. And they brought her back to, yeah. And so Earl took the camper down there for me to stay, and I stayed there for 2.5 months with them both in the hospital.
Out in Kansas City?
And I said, when I left that town, I said, I'll never go back again.
And now a bunch of your grandkids are out there.
That's right.
Someone told me you just went sat on Santa's lap for the first time in your life.
Yep. We went to Burlington to the Christmas. I guess this was the Christmas celebration. Anyway, I wasn't going to go at first, and I got thinking, I better get out of here. So we went to Burlington, and was going through these little buildings. It was all decorated up and had stuff in them. And there's Santa Claus was there, and Tim said, stand up beside him and let me take your picture. Earl said, no, sit on his lap. So I said, okay. So I sat on his one leg. And Gary said, well, I want you up for Christmas. And He said, maybe, how did he say that? Not worth it, or maybe you haven't earned it or something.
You weren't good, nice. You weren't good on the naughty. You're on the naughty list this year.
But anyway,
What'd you ask for?
I didn't ask for nothing.
No, you're content.
Like, we all got to laughing, and I just got up and walked off.
Well, what'd you have asked for?
I really didn't want nothing for Christmas. All I wanted for Christmas was pictures to hang on in there. Rebuild my pictures and stuff.
Pictures of anyone?
In there on
Anything?
the hallway.
They can't see any of those pictures.
Oh, okay.
Who's up on the pictures?
They're all the grandkids.
Well, you're a great grandma
Mm-hmm.
many times over.
Yeah. 16 times, I think.
16 times?
Gary's got 12. And then,
Working on it.
yeah. And then they've got 4. And Terry's got 4.
You keep up with them more than most people would at your age.
Oh, I could keep up with them, but they're all away from, live at different places. Texas, Kansas City, and well, other places.
What are some misconceptions you think that you've traveled a lot, going to cities and having friends in big cities and stuff? What do most people misconstrue about farming? Do they all understand it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they don't ever ask me.
No. They just want to beat you in cards or dominoes and move on, huh?
Yeah. Well, when we went to Texas, they's all old people. They all did about the same thing. I was the youngest one down there for a while.
Yeah.
But it don't matter to me. I mean, I've got maybe a few years left, but
I'm sure you got more than that. You act like you're still a youngin'.
how do I act?
You don't act your age.
Yeah. I'm just
You have this youthful spirit about you that
maybe all that working when I was younger kept me going. I don't know.
because you started. What'd you say? You started working at 8 years old.
Drove the tractor when I was 8.
8 years old.
Dad would take all 3 of us kids out because we were just nip and tuck. I think
You were just what?
nip and tuck. And
What's that?
in age.
Okay.
I have to admit. And Dad would take us out to field and put me up there, and he let me drive for an hour. And then he'd
Did he leave you there?
and then he'd go home, which is only half a mile or something. And he'd take the boys back, and then pretty soon he'd bring one of the boys and take me back, and so we all took our turns driving, and that's how I learned to drive, I guess.
Been driving since 8 years old.
Yeah.
Did they do that these days? Put 8-year-olds out in the tractor?
And then, no, 8-year-olds with me, no.
They got a lot easier, huh?
I don't know whether they,
Oh, I'm sure.
you know,
8 years old, I played video games. I didn't have to worry about getting out and farming. I did some farming, some work on the farm, but the big machinery, I think, all the buttons and all the programming and all the stuff you got to do.
that's the way with me. I got in that tractor a while back. I looked it over and I thought, good land, what's all this for? Nothing like what tractors I go.
Have you driven one of the new tractors?
No,
No.
same. And I dare drove a semi.
Hmm.
As I told them when they got them semis, I was quitting. I was retiring. And the other day, while back, Tim had a load of rock he wanted to string around out here on the yard
Mhm.
driveway. He came in and wanted to know if I drive this truck, and I said I'd never drove a truck, especially turning around in here. Saw it out. I kind of enjoyed it.
Oh, you drove it?
Yeah. He unloaded it all out there, and I just drove it. I was going to drive it out to the men's site when I got done, but Jackson was out just left with the truck, so I didn't want to meet him. But anyway, I enjoyed it.
Because if you met him, then he'd see that you know how to drive a truck, and then he'd know that he could put you to work again. You don't want to show your cards too much.
Yeah. No, I think I'm retired enough. I told him I think my truck is sitting over there, house south of Gary's.
Mm.
Terry Felt bought it, and I don't think he's moved it one time since he bought it. And I said, I bet you the mice would beat that thing up inside. But I told him,
If you get that one back, you'd drive it?
I said, if you go get my truck, I'd help you. They was worried about how it was going to.
How much work they're going to do to it to get around.
But anyway.
You told me a story one time about, because you said something about the pond at school. You go down to the pond.
Yeah, we was ice skating, and fell through. The ice broke. So she took me up to the schoolhouse and took my clothes off and put her coat on me. And we had a big stove with a big thing around it. I don't know what it was for. But anyway, she hung my clothes all in there between the stove and that shield. Got me get them dried. And I put them back on. But
Before all the other kids got back from recess?
She let them go a little longer.
This wasn't the one that just put you out there and then went home for the day, is it?
No.
A different teacher?
No, that was the one up when we go to school over west of us. We could ice skate down there till 2:00 or something before you go up. She wouldn't say a word.
She'd never come down to get you. She'd always wait for you. Just wait.
So she got fired.
Good. Sounds like she needed to be.
So that's when we started over to school 2 miles east of us. We started over there then until Merle. I was in the sixth grade, and Merle graduated from grade school, so we just all went to Rexford because the bus went right by our house. Rexford bus.
You guys didn't ride the bus?
Not till we got in town.
How'd you get to school?
Merle rode a horse. His horse, only he could be the only one. Elton was going to show him one day. He could ride it. He got bucked off right away.
Who did?
Elton.
Only Merle was allowed to ride the horse?
That was Merle's horse, and nobody wanted to ride it because he just assumed it's like Elton. He got on there and he got bucked right off. We rode the bicycle. Daryl and I would ride the bicycle to school. And then he'd say, you have to pedal me because you're too heavy. I was not too heavy, man.
Brothers.
Yeah. And then the Rexford school bus, of course, we do the family that their kids are going to Rexford. But anyway, Tech Shaw, when they meet us, and I was pedaling Daryl down the road. He opened the window and said, look, pedal a little faster, pedal a little faster.
In that voice?
I can't talk. But anyway.
And then he'd leave you in the dust. What else has gone on around here over the years?
Well, just when we moved here, there's this house and the bathroom was, or I call it bathroom. Outhouse was the only thing on the place. And a little oil shed right here where they kept their horses. Well,
yeah, I want to put some pictures. I want to put a picture in there of when you guys moved here. And then what it looks like now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No different comparison.
Started with this building and the outhouse. And now there's, six?
3 or 4 buildings.
Yes, 4 buildings out here. And the Ben sites now.
Yeah.
Were you around when those were built?
Oh, yeah. Put them all up there.
That's always so cool to come see because you don't see that around the city.
That tree row out there, we put it up when he was 6 months old because I had to keep coming to the house to check on him. Like we was trying to get them trees all planted. And so I'd come in there and check on him, give him a book and leave him in his bed, and he just looked at the book. He would try to get it out, and that's what I was always afraid of. But he stayed in his bed. Then this tree row out here was, you guys was a little older then, right?
Why would they always plant tree rows? What was that?
For protection.
Wind break.
So like that big one, the big tree row off the highway there. Who planted all those?
Earl's dad.
Hmm.
And then he give them a nickel to water every tree, but if they cut one off when they hoed around it, no, they got a penny for every tree. But if they chopped one off, they had to pay a nickel.
Oh.
So they cut it.
Very careful to not chop one down, huh?
Right.
Well, it looked like they all made it. They did good.
Oh yeah, it was always, there's a lot of trees now. It's been, dead, but
Yeah.
well, still they lived quite a while.
Yeah, everyone always referenced that on it's the only tree row really to turn at between Hoxie and Colby, and I go up that we just live on the tree row. Down the road of the tree row.
But I never tell anybody to come up that road because I hate that road. So
Why do you hate that road?
oh, it's so dusty because it's never been gravel mud or nothing. And it's just, I don't know. I just never did like that road. I either go west or east.
I have a lot of stories that I was going to bring up.
About me?
Well, for you to tell.
Oh.
Grandpa he got me into these pickles in general, and some other weird shit like Vienna sausages and saltines with butter on them, and sardines. Man, the amount of people in my life that did not like that habit of the sardines. Yeah, he turned me on the sardines and all kinds of interesting foods.
Did he ever get you started on those little beanie weenies? Those cans?
Yeah.
The Vienna sauce. Yeah. Yep. All our fishing escapades would always you'd always have all the good snacks.
Tim had got Earl a box of them just not too long before he passed away.
Sardines?
No, those weenies.
Oh, yeah.
And so the doctor that we go to, that's all him and Earl could talk about when he got in there they both liked their weenies. So I took him 8 cans I took him next time I went to town and give it to him, and he was really happy.
What do you call them? Beanie weenies?
That's what I call them.
Beanie weenies?
They're little weenies in a can about that tall.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good.
There's still 3 cans in there. Somebody will be eating it up.
Austin will eat those.
I'll eat them up.
Well,
take them on up to the mountains with me. Kona and I will eat those.
hey,
Tell everyone why Grandpa liked peanut butter and pickle sandwiches so much.
well, that's the only way they take sandwiches with them to school because there's no refrigerator or nothing to keep your meat or anything. So they just took peanut butter and pickle sandwiches.
It wouldn't go bad, I guess, huh?
They wouldn't go bad. So that's how he got started on the beanie or the weenie or the.
And now
The pickled peanut butter sandwich.
It's gone through 3 generations. Because these guys.
Yeah, Parker and I, we still do peanut butter pickle sandwiches. And it's funny to see that nobody actually ate them because they liked them. That's the only thing you could get into to stay fresh all day. They're good. Did you like them? No.
I just soon leave the pickle off and eat the sandwich.
Right.
The peanut butter, but
It's an interesting concoction.
I don't know. That's probably about my life story because I don't.
Tell them more about your Texas trips.
Those was always crazy. But we did enjoy the people in Texas. It's just like going home because we all went back to the same campground every time. And so that's how come we're so close to everybody, I guess, because they're all went along with them, each other.
You did a trip out to Boston or something recently, didn't you?
My girlfriend and I, Darlene Schaefer, we went on a trip to Boston.
That was your first time there?
Oh, yeah. We never did really go anywhere except just Texas.
Well, you've been to Alaska. You've been.
Yeah, we went up there for our 50th wedding anniversary.
Arizona.
Where'd you go up to for your 50th?
Alaska.
What'd you guys do up there? I'm sure Grandpa wanted to fish.
I think they fished.
They didn't fish at all, huh?
Oh, I don't think they did. We just went up there and we took the boat up, up, and then flew home.
Hmm.
I would do it the other way around if I'd ever do it again.
Fly up there,
Fly
take
up
the boat back.
And then bring the boat back because you're so tired. And then you get on the plane and you get on the plane that morning and that night you're here in your bed and it just it's too much fast moving.
Too much sleeping and moving
Yeah.
for a long time.
And your Colorado trips, golf trips to Colorado. Did you?
Well, that was Earl's.
Oh, you didn't go on those?
No.
There was one thing that he had said about before. He ran into something with a stick shift and running through the wall of somebody's house or something. You hang out with Millie quite a bit. One of your great grandkids.
Yeah, I go pick her up after they have All-Star. The bus takes them from the schoolhouse to the church. And then I go in and pick her up at 5:30. And I did that for 5 years now.
How's that?
Oh, well, it's lots better. I mean, it was good all along, but Millie was just yak, yak, yak when she's little, but now you can't hardly get her to talk. But anyway, she pulled some funny ones. I wish I'd kept a book.
Of all the things she's done?
Things she has said. And there's only two that really sticks to my, is she said, what do you got them Kleenexes for on the console? And I said, well, in case I have to blow my nose or wipe my hands or something. He said, well, my mom don't have them in her car, but I guess we're not old. I tell you, I about fell off that. She just would, and she didn't have to think of it. It just come roll right out.
So that's what you said. Just say what you got to say, and she's got that figured out, huh?
Right.
What was the other? You said two things.
She said, I wish Mom and Maddie could come pick me up from All-Star. And I said, well, I do too. But I said, I can't take care of Maddie. Your mom takes care of her, and I take care of you. I said, why? Don't you like for me to come and get you? I was driving down the highway. She sat there for she said, oh, yeah. Just like that. I said, okay, I'll just stop and let you walk him for the rest of the way home. So I slowed down and she looked down. Well, don't put me in the stickers.
She's funny. She was ready to go. Walk.
Thought I was really going to drop her off.
Tell everyone something you wish you would have known or learned or understood when you were in your 20s that you didn't, that you know now, and you wish you would have known if you were to talk to yourself back then.
Maybe one thing would be to finish high school.
Yeah.
I haven't really regretted it too much, but it would have helped, I think.
Yeah. What would have helped with?
Oh, I don't know if I'd be any smarter or not.
I'm not a big advocate of school, so I'm not going to support that being the last thing you say. I think the school system has a lot of work to do to affect the diverse enough of kids that are in school. You know, I think there's too much variation across kids and where they're at, just blanketing everything with one, here's what everyone learns. You know, there's so much knowledge out in the world and so much education online and all these things that kids are growing and learning at different paces. And a lot of times there's kids in there that already know the stuff for the whole year and they're just kind of sitting there because nobody thinks enough about each kid individually to teach each kid individually. So I think a lot of school, and it's hard to do. All right, well, we're going to wrap up. And thank you for coming on the show. I'm glad you made it on here. I'm excited for everyone to meet you. I've told people about this coming up and like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see this episode and meet your grandma. And yeah, I appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
You better look at it before he shows it.
It'll be good. It'll be good. So thank you. All right, that's a wrap.
Okay.
All right, you did it.